for cookies. Hopefully these don't end up cakey. We'll see. I'm not a big fan of cakey cookies, so that's why I'm slightly skeptical of this recipe. But I added a leavening before because I just don't like chunks. I just wanted to make sure it gets dissolved properly because most recipes I use, you add the leavening before you add your flour. So that's why I'm doing that. Okay, and then 309 grams. $307. So 307 grams. Yeah, you can definitely tell that I'm being lit from underneath. Well, that's not that flattering. Oh well. Still better than those gross overheads. I'm very stubborn. Okay, so 307 grams of bread flour. Yeah, that's also what's weird about this recipe is it uses bread flour. So that's 38 grams. I do need to keep that bag so I can pull it out and label it. So 307 grams flour. Okay. Guess I should have started with the big bowl. I just didn't think about it because I thought I'd be mixing the dries first and then adding them into the wets or something like that. Which is why I started with this tiny bowl instead of the big bowl. But now that I'm looking at the recipe, I should have read it further along and realized that I only need one bowl. And if that's the case, I should have started with the big bowl instead of the tiny bowl. But now I'm in the tiny bowl. And here we are. Using a bowl that's too small. Ah, yes. Today is a very smooth stream. It's okay. I've committed. I'm not going back, guys. I've committed. She wasn't kidding that this is a very liquidy cookie dough recipe. I guess it makes sense because it's tangzong, so it needs to be more liquidy than that. I can see all the little coffee specks in here, though. Okay. All right, so this recipe now says stir well until combined until no dry spots show. Okay, so we just got to keep going. Those chunks of sugar or what? Maybe it's the coffee. Okay, I think that's well incorporated. It's a pretty decent tasting cookie dough. Okay. We're gonna. Oh, what was that? P cap. Welcome, pack up. Oh, pack P. Sorry, I am really butchering your name. Hello, welcome. Thank you for the raid. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for the follow, Nietzsche Reborn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, RTANT1, Ratant. Hello, hello. This guy's cooking. Thank you for the raid. What were you guys doing? Here, let me come up to the. Sorry, I butchered it. Let me know what's the proper way to. Oops, sorry, that was really loud. Proper way to pronounce your all's names. Let me switch to talking head. Hello, welcome to my stream. I am Walter Mellon or Walter. I am a cooking streamer primarily. Very occasional once in a blue moon I might do a gaming stream, but it's been almost a year since I've done that. So primarily a cooking streamer. But I'm not a professional cook by any means, or a professional baker. But I have been baking and cooking since I was 12. I just love hanging out and nerding out about food. Oh my goodness, so many follows. But hello, welcome. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for trusting your community with me. Hope you guys are hungry and ready for a good time, and welcome to my little corner and my little kitchen in the internet. What were you guys doing? Okay, let's hear it. Thank you for the follow, Lucas Shortstack, Mini Pop, Mid Lane basically, and Pack Up. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, let's hear. You guys are cooking. Oh, he cooking. Playing Minecraft. Very cool. For those who are, let me give you a shout out. Pack Up. Still trying to figure out how to pronounce it. Yeah. You like the setup. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Minecraft server. Oh, very cool. Oh, Pack P. Pack P. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. RT1. RT1. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know how to pronounce your stuff, your names. I'm making Tangzong cookies. All right, let me switch back to mobile food clears. Okay. Cool. And then Just Wolf, thank you for the follow. Oh, yeah, so my setup's actually pretty simple. It's just, today I stream light. Normally I just use daylight to light my scene. I randomly have a light in the corner lighting me. I just have it bouncing off the wall. But yeah, so my setup is just it's my MacBook.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. Mash them, stick them in a stew. I love Lord of the Rings. You can't tell. I also have a Lembas spread. Redeem. But it's my MacBook Pro with my webcam, and then this is my iPhone, and so that's kind of my setup. It's actually very simple, and it works great. So through the powers of the Mac ecosystem, I know Mac in a gaming world, it's actually very seamless in terms of like the connection. You just, as long as you have an iPhone 12 and a MacBook that or running the latest OS. Actually, I think it was at least one OS ago. You can actually easily use your iPhone as a second camera, like as a webcam, which is pretty dope. Yeah. Water, drink. Okay, thank you. I think it's this one here. Cookies look bussin'. Thank you. Thank you for the hydrate command. The hydration reminder, I should say. Cool. So what I'm making is chocolate chip cookies. I'm making a slightly more experimental one that uses tangzong, which is normally a bread making technique that you use to make like that soft milk bread. And what it is you create like a roux of water and flour, and you add that to your dough usually. And what it does is it allows you to absorb more moisture into your dough, which then allows your cookie or your bread to become soft and stay softer for longer. And so I'm curious about this recipe. Mostly, if you guys look, I can put up the link. It's a very divisive recipe. King Arthur made it their King Arthur flour made it their like recipe of the year this year, and it's got 3.5 stars. So people either love it or they hate it, and it's kind of interesting. So I'm very curious. So I'm trying this recipe out. I'm mostly interested in its staying power to see if it doesn't stay. So tangzong is normally used as a technique to keep bread softer for longer. Because of its higher moisture content, it stales a lot slower. And apparently this also applies to the cookies. And so I'm curious about making a cookie that is more shelf stable without adding preservatives, obviously. And so I'm curious about this technique. And if it works, it would be the ideal cookie for sending for care packages. And so that's why I'm very curious to see if this cookie recipe works. And for those who have been listening to my stream, another food and drink streamer, which is Lord Talks, tried this a couple weeks ago, and he really liked them. And he actually does an experiment where they lasted for up to 3 days, worst conditions, where he just left them on the table, just open air, and they were still soft, which is quite amazing. And so now I kind of want to try it for myself. And I'm going camping for like July 4th this weekend, and so I thought I'd make cookies to share. And I thought that, a 5-day camping trip would be, or 4-day camping trip would be like the perfect time to try this recipe out and see if they last for 4 days, assuming they don't get completely eaten, of course. And anyways, for those who are interested, here's Lord. That's Lord Talks. That's the person who introduced me to this recipe. Who was also introduced to. He had heard about SerendipX, who's another great food and drink streamer. I'm going to also shout out. I think I spelled her name correctly. Let me double check. Yeah. She's a professional pastry chef, and she had found the recipe and was curious about it and was talking about it in her stream. So through that, Lord Talks ended up trying it, which then I found it through Lord Talks. And anyways, there's been, in the food and drink community, there's been a bit of discussion about this recipe. And so right now what I'm doing is I'm just trying to mix it to get all the lumps out of this cookie dough. One thing that this recipe did talk about was the fact that this cookie dough is a little more wet than your typical. It's more batter-like, and so there is a requirement to put this in the fridge for 15 minutes. Although I don't know if I really need to do that, because she said to do it so that it wouldn't melt the chocolate. But now that I'm looking at it, and the fact that I'm able to put my finger in it means that it's not gonna melt the chocolate. So I think what I'll do is, just to make it easier, since it's already kind of liquidy, I'm just gonna add the chocolate now. And this recipe called for, I'm gonna check after I poured the whole thing in. I'm pretty sure it's an entire, 340 grams, and this is 326. So not even the whole thing of chocolate chips. There was a step about chopping it up to make it, better, but I'm kind of lazy. Instead, I'm going to add toffee, so that kind of melts in nicely. I like adding toffee to my chocolate chip cookies because it adds like a nice bit of chewiness. And then I'm a fan of that. And so I like that in my cookies. Okay, and so what I'll do is I'm going to let it rest for a little bit, do some tepache things, which is a pineapple beer that I've been brewing that's over there. I'm going to decant it, and then that'll give the dough or the batter or cookie dough some time to rest. So normally with this recipe, you want to wait for 24 hours. But for the sake of stream, I'm going to bake a few just to test them out. But I do want to let it kind of rest in the dough. So generally with cookie recipes, I personally think that chilling at least 24 hours, if not 36 to 72 hours, is most ideal for cookies, because then it kind of lets everything melt and kind of get to know each other. And so that's just sort of my I'm a firm believer in that, and the reason for that is because cookie dough is high in fat and low in moisture, like a liquid, like a normal liquid, aside from just the eggs, and it's also really high in sugar. And so to really let the flavors kind of dissolve together and create like a cohesive, delicious cookie, you generally want to wait at least 24 hours. My opinion, 40 hours, kind of 36 between 48 is kind of the ideal. But you can actually leave in the fridge up to 72 hours. And this is actually also the reason why I like those pre-baked, like when you buy those pre-made cookie doughs, those taste amazing, is because they've been sitting in the fridge for a while. I'm granted they're chock full of preservatives, so they don't go bad in the fridge. But part of the reason why they're so good is because they've been sitting there and all the cookie dough's gotten to know each other. And they're just amazing. And yeah, and so anyways, I'm a firm believer in that, and that's actually one of the secrets as to why, like Toll House, break and bakes are so delicious and they turn out so well. It's because they've just been sitting there with all the flavors kind of getting to know each other. All right. Anyways, I might be missing chat here. Oh, thank you, Mini Pop, for real. Oops. Heath is busting the snack on. Yeah, I love Heath. Heath toffee. The original recipe that when I do that had me put toffee into a chocolate chip cookie recipe. So my go-to is a mixture of two weird things. So it's a 40-hour cookie recipe from Alvin Zoe, but I use the ingredients from gluten-free on a shoestrings gluten-free cookies as my base. And that's actually normally my go-to cookie recipe. And the reason why I do it haha. That was more of a Mario thing. I just like the Link cooking sound. I do need to get an animation to go with that. I just have to get there. What was I saying? Oh, so basically, how I accidentally stumbled upon it is I wanted to do 40-hour cookies, but I have a coworker that was celiac, so I was bringing these cookies to work, and so I made a gluten-free version, but I wanted to preserve that 48-hour technique, and so I took the ingredients from this gluten-free recipe and added it into my cookies and made a gluten-free version. And then after baking it, the gluten-free version ended up tasting better and chewier and just more chocolate chip cookie than the original recipe. And because of that, I now that's my go-to cookie recipe. It just works better. It's got the perfect cookie shape, and like it just has like the perfect chew. And everyone's always skeptical. They're like, gluten free, what? And it's like, I mean, it works because personally to me, it's like because it's partly rice flour, and rice flour is like got that really nice, perfect texture. And another reason why it works is because cookies are mostly sugar and butter, anyways. So like really, the flour is just to add a little bit of structure. And so using rice flour instead, kind of in some ways, make for a really nice chewy cookie that like makes it taste more like a chocolate chip cookie than an actual cookie. And it also stays longer because it's got that nice chewy texture. So anyways, that's the reason why that's not my go-to recipe. But I'm very curious about this one because it's got such an interesting technique and because it doesn't stale as fast. And so that's the part that I'm most interested in, to see if this is the perfect like care package cookie. Yeah. Yeah, it is the best little jingle in Zelda is the cookie. Like when I played like Tears of the Kingdom and I played uh why am I drawing a blank on the other one? I can only think of Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my god. Why am I having a massive brain fart? Breath of the Wild. Oh my god. How did I like... Anyways, Breath of the Wild. One of my favorite things was just sitting there cooking things over and over and over again because the jingle was so good. Yeah. Oh, hi. I'm guessing that is Nora. Hello, Nora. Welcome. It's been a while. Good to see you. I'm just gonna guess because you called me by my gamer name from way long ago, and be judging from the way you talked and judging from their name that you're Nora. Hi, Nora. I'm guessing that's your alt. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, it says you ate nothing all day and you're seeing this. Damn. Okay. Usually for cookie dough to sit a couple hours, like 2 to 3, you're too lazy to wait. Yeah, I mean that's fine as long as you let it wait at least a couple hours. But even better is to let it wait ahead of time. Well, and what I'll do is here. So mini pop. Actually, here's a trick. If you don't need to eat all your cookies at once, right? Just hear me out. Bake what you want to eat, right? Pre-roll them in the balls, bake what you want to eat, and then when you want cookies later, then you just pull them out of the fridge, and it only takes 12 minutes, and then you have fresh baked cookies every time. There's another gaming streamer that that and that's how she does it. She like makes a batch of she doesn't do it on stream, but she always talks about like she makes a batch of cookies and then she just leaves it in the fridge, and every time she needs cookies, she'll just like bake 3 at a time and just eat those 3 cookies. That way she always has fresh baked cookies, which to me I think is freaking genius. And then she'll have it over like the course of like 2 weeks, which makes sense to me. Yeah. Oh, that's what you just did? Oh, you never make it right? Oh, you gotta have a little more faith. The other thing about holding the cookies for longer, or like letting them sit, one of the things that's important about doing that is, to me, I think it helps dissolve the sugar more, and then it keeps it cold. And so for me, it helps prevent that like flat cookie syndrome. I think like I've always noticed that if I let it rest, the cookies are less likely to spread out because it's had a chance to like really stiffen up. And so that's just me. So these are just like my observations from cooking and baking. So in the meantime, we're going to take this cookie dough recipe and pop it in the fridge for a little bit until... Oh, hi, Nora! UF Mark! Thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we're going to do everything that everyone loves to do about cookie dough. That is delicious. Okay. I'm going to put this in the fridge for a little bit to let it stiffen up. And in the meantime, I'm going to work on putting this pineapple brew that I have going over here on the left, also for my camping trip. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to clean up a little bit because I don't have a very large kitchen. So once it starts getting too crowded to think, it becomes a little tough to work, and then it kind of makes me go crazy. Hi, Tuna! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. You have to try to come back another time. You have to watch the VOD. It looks really good. Oh, thanks, Nora. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you've been well. It's been a while since I've heard from you. So this is how I label my flowers. Excuse me. What happened there? I need some water. Sorry about that. I don't know why I had some coughing fit. I'm not sick at all for some reason. I don't know what happened. My throat is really dry all of a sudden. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, thanks, Pack P. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you got a new job. That's why. Oh, that's cool. Congrats, Nora. Sorry about that. I was like coughing. I don't know what happened there. So, anyways, for me to know what I've got, I just take a rubber band in my newly cut label, and I do that. And then Best Buy. Okay, and the Best Buy is April 2025, so that's how I label it. And that way I know. Sometimes I get it from the bulk food store, and then I don't have that, and then I have to grab I'll grab like a piece of paper, brown paper bag, and I'll just slap it on. So, anyways, I'm gonna do a little cleanup, and then we'll start doing a little bit of decanting the decanting of the sorry, I'm my mind is racing all of a sudden. But we're gonna do a decanting of the pineapple brew that I've got going here, which is this one that I'll be working on. This one, that one isn't doing as well. I had to give it yeast, artificial yeast, to make it going. But I've got this other one that's much healthier. I think I just need to go for one more day, and that will be great. And I'll explain what these are in a second. But basically, what this is tepache, And so tepache is basically like kind of like a very traditional pineapple brew. It was